This is, I'm working on it.
Making the voice.
We're done. This is the last week for swimming. After this week, we all jump in the pool. And but before we start, we have to go get the prayer out.
We have to go to this guy's pool.
You know what?
Did you end last week about Mabadi saying that everybody was in a table?
Yeah, that was what we did last week. Although halachically, I'm going to recap it right now. But hold on, I want to just do the prayer. Let me find the prayer for our good friend.
You can go to Yossi's pool, don't worry.
Showering on? Showering in cold water would be okay. Cold. I do it actually. Our shiur is sponsored by our good friend Yerushua ben Yafa, Yerushua Asis. Let's see, Yerushua. He's having a surgery. He had the surgery. It's over. He had it.
I think
he had it. Hopefully the surgery went well. He should have good health. We'll do tefillah mi shebarak avotenu hakedoshim והטהורים אברהם, יצחק ויעקב ומשה ואברהם הוא יברך את כל חולי ישראל ובכללם יברך את החולה יהושע בן יפה וישלח לו רפואה שלמה ברמ"ח איבריו ושס"ה גידיו אל נא רפא לו וטוב שעד חולה מחי השתה בעגלה וכנסו ולומר אמן. Okay, feel better יהושע. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. Where did we leave off? Let's give a little recap where we're up to now. Yossi said he's feeling good about the swimming, and I don't blame him. I don't blame Yossi, because if you delve into the topic, we're talking about swimming at Shabbat. Shalachti. So here's the recap. So we're talking about swimming on Shabbat. This is the third of 3 parts. This is the last one. What did we say until now? We said there are 9 hashashot. There are 9 possible Shabbat transgressions that we have to watch out for that maybe would make swimming on Shabbat asur. We went through each one on the list. Should I look it up or should we try to do it by heart? Remember the list? We had building a raft. You're not going to build a raft because there's a lip around your pool. As long as the pool has a wall that holds the water in, no hashash are going to build a raft. So the raft is not a problem. Exercising is not a problem. Squeezing hair, not a problem. Squeezing bathing suit, not a problem. Squeezing the towel, not a problem. Laundering the bathing suit in the water, cleaning the bathing suit, that's not called doing laundry. We had
swimming in hot water.
Bathing is the big one. Hot water is the big one. So let's say that for last. What were the other ones? Not one of the 9. Not one of the 9.
Squeezing the towel line?
Squeezing it, it's because it's not first of all, it's not what you want
anyway,
and B, it's not. It's at the worst, it's going to be a psikra share.
Oh.
At the worst, it'll be a psikra share or to bachelom kavin. It's not really what you want. So here's what did we forget, guys? Carrying the water drops. If there's an eruv, that's okay. Here, ready? 1. Exercise, not a problem. Raft, not a problem. Squeezing hair, it's okay. I mean, you shouldn't squeeze your hair, but we're not worried about that necessarily. Squeezing your hair when you dry yourself, it's another type of squeezing hair. So it's the same, not a problem. That's 4. 5, squeezing the towel. Squeezing the bathing suit, 6. Laundering the bathing suit, not a problem. And then we have carrying the water droplets where someone left out, but it's actually not a joke. Okay, if there's no eruv in the swimming pool and you walk out and you transfer the water from private property to through Rishut Rabim, it could be a problem. So if you have an eruv, not a problem. And the whole city here has an eruv. You could walk when it's raining. Oh, you asked that last week, right? Someone asked that last week, right? There's a mantra hanuch that talks exactly about this. Maybe Lena did. I'll put it at the end. And then
transporting the water. I mean, you are.
Yeah. So this can take us into a very interesting place. It's actually the beginning of Masechet Shabbat, which you learned. You need a akira and hanaha, right? You need to pick it up. And so the question is it an akira? I don't want to get into this now. Is it called picking it up? All right. And then the big one. Washing on Shabbat, bathing yourself on Shabbat, which we said last week that from the Torah, it's going to be okay. If the hot water is already hot on Shabbat, hey, Roi, if the hot water is already heated up, you can't light a fire on Shabbat. But from the Torah, if you have hot water in the urn right there, instead of making coffee, I want to make a shower. From the Torah, that's going to be okay. But the rabbi said you can't do it. Why? It's a gezerah. Because the bathhouse attendants were all sketching around the system and lying and saying, no, the water's from before Shabbat. And they were really heating it on Shabbat because people used to use the bathhouse. And they, right? You were here last week? Oh, no. This was last week. The bathhouse attendants were lying. And they were saying to the rabbis, no, it's kosher. It's kosher bathhouse. All the water is from before Shabbat. And they were really turning it on Shabbat. So the rabbi said, no more bathing on Shabbat. Even if the water is from before Shabbat. Gezerah. Huh?
They just mentioned. The only one that doesn't correspond to going to mikveh, the bathing.
Mikveh, yeah. And mikveh, we talked about mikveh last week. Mikveh is going to be, like you said, the only problem is the bathing problem.
Don't you have
They're
to
not bathing.
It's the washing part.
Purposely have to be bathing? Like if you want to what?
No,
I'm in the rain.
no. We're talking now. When I say bathing, so the English is going to really wreck us. So we have to clearly define our terms. When I use the word bathing at Shabbat, I'm referring to the halachic transgression of bathing, which is in hot water. If it's not hot, man heated hot water by man's genius or man's technology. That's called bathing on Shabbat.
So cold water is allowed.
Cold water is fine. Just make sure you don't squeeze stuff. Make sure you don't squeeze. What? So we talked about mikveh last week, and mikveh is a really big issue. I'm going to read another piece about mikveh today towards the end of the class, and we'll bring it back.
But isn't the squeezing the secret share that we talked about?
Squeezing is not going to be Yisud Deoraita. It's going to be of the hair.
There's no.
It's a particular share, but a particular share you can't do it. I mean, you're not allowed to do particular share unless it's lo nihale, and it's midrabanan. If it's a deoraita,
So nobody squeezes.
right? But it's a deoraita. But it's a deoraita.
No, but
Particular share you can't do for deoraita.
I thought squeezing has nothing to do with
Squeezing hair is less than all the other squeezings.
right because there's
Squeezing
no
hair is deorabanan. Squeezing hair is not deoraita, and it's funny because the one thing people are always like, don't squeeze your hair, which you shouldn't.
So we were allowed to take the towel out of the wine.
the one.
Yeah, that's because
You're losing.
it's lo nihale and it's drabanan. It was a drabanan.
I don't remember.
The loss.
Was it
So why should
drabanan?
it be different? Like the wine thing, it would be understandable if you couldn't do it.
Was it drabanan? I'm trying to think if it was
You get no
drabanan.
benefit from the water from the towel.
Maybe it's drabanan. I have to really look at that gemara again. Okay, let's keep this in mind. So we have a bunch of things, no problem. So when we say bathing, we mean hot water from a fire, from electric, from something. Okay? Now, Bezad, remind me at the end to review the mikveh thing because it's a big issue. Now we want to talk about. So we said last week, Yossi, what did we end up last week? If you have a pool at home in eruv, you have an eruv, you have a pool, you have a lip, you don't have the grass around. Let's just say in short about the grass, and it's heated on Shabbat. The heater's on Shabbat. You can't use it.
Right.
Because
you have a man-made heater.
Yeah, man-made heater on Shabbat, you can't use it because you're not allowed to use water that's heated on Shabbat.
It's solar.
If it was heated with a man-made heater from before Shabbat, you still can't use the pool on Shabbat because it's a gezerah. The rabbis made a decree because of these bad actor bath attendants. If you have a pool in LA in the hot summer months where there's no man-made heater on, it's just solar, this would appear to be Rambam. Where Rambam? Not solar panels. This would appear, it might even be solar panels, by the way, but let's just see now. This would appear to be Rambam, where we read the first week. Rambam says straight out, if you have a pool in your backyard, go swimming. That's what Rambam said. And so that would appear to be what Rambam's talking about. Still in all, Hacham Yitzhak said, I asked my father, and he said, tell the people don't swim on Shabbat. My father agreed. No, that's not what he says.
No.
I'll read you exactly. Let's read his words again.
No.
No, he said, Ulinyan halacha, halachically speaking, אף שסידדנו להקל לרחוץ בבריכה בשבת באיזה אופנים. Even though we said we should be lenient and to allow swimming from all the different possibilities. מכל מקום, however, למעשה, in actuality, יש להורות, you should teach. להורות means to teach, like לשון תורה. יש להורות, you should teach, שלא לרחוץ בבריכה בשבת, not to swim in the pool on Shabbat. ובפרט בבגד ים, especially with the bathing suit, even though nylon bathing suit, we said these days it doesn't squeeze. וכן השיב לי מרן, אבי ומורי שליטה. And this is what my father answered to me as well. No reason, no rhyme. This is just literally, it's almost like the sum of the parts. I used to joke with my wife once we had 3, 4, 5 kids. Like 5 kids is harder than 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. It's harder than the sum of the parts. It seems to be like this. The sum of the parts, we have 9 possibilities. Each one is not strong enough to take us down. Hacham V'Yama said, but there's 9 things that people worry about. So I don't want you to do it.
But he doesn't worry.
He doesn't
about
say this. This is my trying to figure out what his reason.
It's very problematic.
He and Yossi. Also, I want you to
It's
know,
okay. And
I have searched in Hacham Vadia's actual books. This is Chamitzhak. He doesn't address it. I didn't see him one page talks about pool on Shabbat. And so this is all we have. This is the only ink that I have found with Hacham Vadia talking about swimming on Shabbat.
It's hearsay too.
And it's his son.
And it's hearsay.
Yeah, but I mean, his son's the chief rabbi. But but what did we get from that? But what did we get? Let's talk halachically speaking. Yossi. Halachically speaking, Yossi, what did we get? Honestly speaking, if someone went in a pool on Shabbat and they fulfilled all the check marks, is it Hilul Shabbat Deoraita? Absolutely not. It's not Hilul Shabbat Deoraita. It's not. What did they break? It's just that the rabbi said, don't do it. That's all.
The whole idea of learning and having reason is like.
It's probably.
Is there any?
Here's why it's okay to Mekil because these are all the reasons. But we're going to say no, just do
better you don't.
It's probably
Are there other rabbis that hold that it's okay?
I want you to know. All Ashkenazim hold there's no bathing on Shabbat. There's nothing on Shabbat.
There's no Ashkenaz here.
So there's a lot of heavy hitter rabbis, Ashkenazim, Mishnah Berurah. All the Ashkenazim say no. They say, Mishnah Berurah says, these days we have accepted upon ourselves, we don't do any of this bathing business. Cold, they don't get involved in it. Zero. And nothing. Nothing.
And how about Sephardic rabbis?
Sephardic rabbis, I mean, there's pages here.
Anybody speaks that it's okay?
Acham Ben Zion Abashul probably says something, but I didn't look in his book. Huh? Finish high. I can check. I don't think he talks about it. I mean, hold on, guys. Rambam talks about it. Rambam and Maran Shulchan Aruch both say you can swim in your pool on Shabbat. Maran, the Shulchan Aruch, and Rambam. However,
he's addressing something so clearly on the coming the last class. Why is there a need for somebody else to say it again?
First of all, there were no electric pool heaters when Rambam. When Maran Shulchan Aruch was there 550 years ago, I don't know if there was. When was electricity invented?
What did they do?
Yes, I don't know. Maybe they did.
What did they do in Israel when they had the tanks full?
Okay, so hold on one second. We'll get there. One second. Okay, Rabotai, I want to move on. Rabotai, this is a rare case in terms of Hacham Vadia. It's a very rare case. But in a hotel, it's going to be. We have to talk about the hotel. Let me. Hold on. Don't throw around the word asu.
On all the time.
Let us,
even in Vegas.
Rabotai, please, let us finish this part, and then we're going to review the whole thing, and we'll add a hotel. What do I want to do right now? I want to say this. What about Yom Tov? How would Yom Tov differ? Would Yom Tov be any different than Shabbat? So, let's say you want to follow Yakut Yosef. What?
I want you to go to the book, read it, you decide for yourself.
So this is what I'm doing for you. I'm reading you the book.
He doesn't say no. If you go read it,
I'm reading you the book.
that's exactly what he does.
A cold shower. You can take a cold shower.
That's what he says.
So,
He doesn't say so. He just says don't read the words.
you ready? Let's do Yom Tov, and then we'll have to come back. Guys, we have to move on because Yuval's watching his watch. We're on, this is very short Gemara. Bezat, I give you the article so you can look inside. Uh-oh.
Wait till after. We're never gonna get through this.
Guys, it's going to be a 4-part series. Next week is part 4 of the swimming, if we don't finish tonight. Well, hopefully, yeah.
He's holding his whole
Venga. What?
This whole Spartans do it this way, Ashkenazi do it that way.
Okay.
Once you get into this blurred lines, one Jew can, one Jew doesn't, then it just becomes custom. If I do it, do I really get a sin for it?
As long as you follow, as long as you...
What if I'm woke and I identify as an Ashkenazi? Right? You know,
Avi, this is my answer to you. Avi, here's my answer. You want to follow a way? You follow that way the whole way. God bless you. Pick a way.
But why though?
Pick a way. Pick a mitzvah.
But I mean, if you have an expert on one subject, and I want to follow him on this subject, and there's another expert that makes more sense to me.
Because there's something called natural bias. We have bias to we have bias to ourselves. We will rationalize, and naturally it all comes down to, do you trust yourself? I don't trust myself. Because
you the intellect,
because Pirkei Avot tells me straight out not to. Al ta'amin be'atzmecha, ad yom motecha. So straight out, don't trust yourself. I know, but my Yetzer Hara, I have bias, and I'm going to chase it unless I have something. This is my personal opinion.
Just a quick little thing. Are there rules where all the Spartans, all the Ashkenazis agree 100%?
There are some things, you know what's one thing we all agree on? The song Ma'osur. Ma'osur Yeshuati. You won't find one Jew who has a different tune.
But I'm talking about
That's just about it.
All of them, everything is different.
Look at the Gemara, Talmud Babis, full of mahloket. Bet Shammai and Bet Hillel. It's full of mahloket.
You know that
It also depends which
Yes, Faradi is a big word.
Which is going to be.
You have to choose a path, and you go down that path 100%. That's my personal opinion. You choose a path, take the path. Rabbi Dweck, my Rosh Hashiva, one day I was in, you know the story. One day, I'll tell you the truth. One day I was in yeshiva, and the way it works in the Syrian community when I was growing up is you ask your local old man, you ask your local rabbi what they do, what's the halakha, what's this. You don't go by any of the sifanim, because the Syrians, very proud people, only the Syrian way. One day, Rabbi Dweck, my Rosh Hashiva, in Deal, I come over to him, I said, Rabbi, I cannot handle this. I'm not like a sheep. I don't just want to follow and call someone up for every single question I have. I want to know the knowledge myself. I want to study it myself. I can't do this. Ask my local old man. This old man in Deal Shul says, in Halab, they used to do lecha dodi. This old man says, in Halab, we never did the lecha dodi. It's not our way. Which way is it? Yeah. It drives me crazy. Rabbi Dweck said to me, he said, you see the Sefer, Yakut Yosef? It's in the name, at that time, Chacham Obadiah didn't have all the Sefarim. Hazon Obadiah, and all that. Just Yabiyah Omer, Yahavedat. He said, take the Sefer. If you want to follow this book from A to Z, it's Mana Shulchan Aruch. Don't listen to anybody in any shul. Just do what he says. Follow, take a path, and go with it. And I think he would say the same thing. You want to go Mishnah Berurah? That's your guy. Go Mishnah Berurah. Go the whole way. But choose a path.
I'm just talking about in terms of like sins and punishment.
If you follow a tradition, a Mesorah, it's not on your back.
You're an Ashkenazi person.
Avi,
You believe in Shabbat, I don't.
if you follow a school of thought, you go that way, it's on the rabbi's shoulders. It's not on your back. You're doing what they said. But if you pick this one, and then you pick that, I bet Shammai like this, and Bet Hillel like this, and Rav like this, and Shemuel like this, then you know who's your rabbi? You're your own rabbi, so you better be right. Then it's on your back. Okay, ready? Betzah 21b. The Mishnah, there's 2 Mishnayot in Betzah, right? Like 5 lines from the wide lines. You don't have to look inside, you can just listen. Bet Shammai omrim, lo yahem adam hamim leraglav, ela im ken re'uyan l'shtiyah. Bet Shammai says, on Yom Tov, you're not allowed to warm up water to wash your feet unless you can drink the water. This is Bet Shammai. If you want to,
That's what the book.
either one, it seems. Huh?
Talking about yachts.
I didn't get the joke, by the way.
Talking
Huh?
about yachts straight out of the book.
Warming up water, lighting up water on Shabbat. Doesn't say anything about the Madriga here. Bet Hillel matirin. Bet Hillel says, no, it's okay. You want to warm up water to wash your feet? Warm up water to wash your feet in Yom Tov. Not Shabbat, guys.
What's that have to do
Yom
with
Tov.
drinking?
Stennish way. This is not Shabbat. This is Yom Tov. Now, oseh adam midura u'mithamim k'negda. You can make a fire and warm your body towards it. Not wet. You warm your fire because if it's freezing outside, you can make a fire and warm up on the fire on Yom Tov. You can't light a new esh on Yom Tov. We're talking about esh le'esh. Everybody clear? Bet Shammai says no, only drinking. Why would Bet Shammai say this? What's the reason? Because it says in the pasuk, guys, this is Yom Tov 101. Yeah, it says in the pasuk, you cannot do amelacha on Yom Tov just like Shabbat. Ach, asher ya'acheh l'chol nefesh, hu levado ya'aseh lechem. Unless ach means but. But, when I read the Torah, I always do ach. But, if it's ochel nefesh, you're allowed to do it. Yom Tov is basically almost like Shabbat exactly, except for some things. What's one of the things? Ochel nefesh. Eating, cooking on Yom Tov is allowed. So Bet Hillel, he says, you know what? Washing your leg, I'm going to throw that under the cooking. You can, if you can make the water to heat up the tea, you can use the water to wash your feet. Bet Shammai says, no, you got to drink the water. It says it straight on the pasuk. Drinking, not cooking. Look at Tosafot. Tosafot on the bottom. Lo yahem adam hamin ela im ken lo'yin l'shtiya. Bet Shammai says you cannot warm up water unless you're going to drink it. V'im tomad me'ezeh ta'am shelo Bet Shammai va'afilu lo'yin l'shtiya haleh lo mitoch. I want to go straight to the answer because the question will throw us off for an hour and a half. Yesh lomad de'mairi kegon sheshoteh umadbel l'rchos raglav. We're only talking about a case that will be allowed if you're going to drink it and you make extra drinking water, enough for you to drink and enough for you to also wash your feet. So you're making extra water, but you're really going to drink. This is talking about exactly what it says in Yerushalmi. According to Bet Shammai, you literally have to drink some of the water, otherwise you violated the halakha. Bet Hillel, matirin, and Bet Hillel say no. You want to heat up water to wash your feet? Go ahead and heat up water. Be'edafka says Tosafot, pay attention to his words. Be'edafka leraglav. Bet Hillel will only allow you to heat up water for your feet. But if you want to heat up water to wash your whole body on Yom Tov, moded asur. Bet Hillel would agree it's not allowed. Why? Tedabar hashaveh lechol nefesh. When we say there's something called ochel nefesh, the rules are relaxed. For food, we include in that dabar hashaveh lechol nefesh, something that universally everyone needs. Dabar hashaveh lechol nefesh. Dabar hashaveh lechol nefesh is washing your feet if you're walking in sandals in Arabian countries. Showers, full body showers, it's not dabar hashaveh lechol nefesh. Don't tell my kids this. It's not dabar hashaveh lechol nefesh. Showering with hot water is not something that everyone universally needs every single day, says Tosafot. Abal yadav v'raglav shaveh lechol nefesh. But washing hands and washing feet, everyone has to do every day. And therefore, Bet Hillel extends the halakha of cooking up boiling water for food to extend it to boiling water for hands and feet.
Why don't they say face?
But not, he doesn't say face. Doesn't say face. The Mishnah only says legs. Yeah, at least he got you face. He got your hands in throw in there. You want face also? He says hands and legs, hands and feet, but no body and no face according to Tosafot. That's
But we learned on
Tosafot.
Shabbat that you can use hot water to at least get up, wash your feet, hands, and face. No.
Very good. So
That's really, I mean, that's like, that's getting into some.
the pasuk says only for food. You can,
Where does the arm end? Does it end here? Does it end here? The shoulder.
No.
You're getting into what is
Your hand.
This is
Hand, not arms. Hand.
this is like the classic. This is the origin of I give you a hand, you take an arm. This is literally what it is. Okay. Now let's read Rambam. Do we still have the crowd with us, or they're lost already? Let's read Rambam, guys. Rambam Yom Tov 116. Listen to Rambam. Why would Bet Hillel say that you're allowed to clean your feet and hands as an adjunct to the halakha about drinking? What does cleaning your legs have to do with drinking? What kind of logic is that?
Yeah, something to do
And
with
so there's a halakha called mitoch. I think Rambam mentions it here. Let's see. Rambam says,
You sit down with your legs crossed on the floor. Your foot is touching the food.
in Syria, we never did that. I don't know what they do in Iran. No, you're washing. No, so he doesn't say you have to drink the water at the same time, Bet Shammai.
No, I'm saying like you're just sitting down to eat. You have to clean.
Oh, you're saying you need this. Oh, that's a nice answer. That's not even what they say, but that's a very nice answer. I like that one. You need it. It's like a fork. I need clean hands. I like that.
But that's when you sat on the floor those days.
Let's see what Rambam says.
On the floor.
Rambam says, Rechitza v'sicha, washing, harehen bichlal achila u'shtiya. It's included in the category of eating and drinking, says Rambam. Ve'osim otam b'yom tov v'kidu al yom tov. Shnei emad, as it says in the pasuk, ach asher ya'achel lechol nefesh. Only what's needed for cooking, lechol shesarich guf, which means for anything the nefesh needs, including washing hands and feet. Therefore, mehamin hamin b'yom tov. You can make hot water on Yom Tov from esh to esh. Ve'rohetz b'hem panav, yadav ve'raglav. Rambam adds the face. Thank you, Rambam. He gave us the face. Tosafot did not give us the face. Mishnah gave us feet. Tosafot gave us hands. Rambam gives us the face. So Rambam says,
Next thing you know, you're swimming.
yeah. So Rambam says you can wash your hands, your face, and your legs. About kol gufo, but your whole body, says Rambam, asur. You're not allowed on Yom Tov. Mishum gezerat mirhat, because those darn bathhouse attendants who were cheating. So the same gezerah that we made on Shabbat, that you cannot take a shower on Shabbat with water that was heated already, the same gezerah would apply on Yom Tov to heat up water for Yom Tov.
How do you follow something that you don't have to? You don't have to.
Very good. Hold on a second. Very good. Hold on 1 second.
Where we're going to
The Hamin.
You get that against the person, the type of people, not
So
failing the self.
I'm going to give you one small answer. It's not going to satisfy you. And then we'll wait for the end. A small answer is like I told Ezra this. There's the Mifashim go to battle about who the Gezerah was against. Is it against the bathhouse attendants or the customers in the bathhouse?
Yes.
Not sure exactly who it was against. So it might be us or not. We're not trustworthy. The Hamin, Shua Hamu Me'erev Yom Tov. If you have Hamin, not Hamin that you eat, Hamin, hot water, that was already warmed up from before Yom Tov, Rohetz Bahem, Kol Gufo B'Yom Tov. Then you can use that water on Yom Tov to take a full body shower. Rambam. Full body shower on Yom Tov as long as the water was heated up before Yom Tov. So one of the gezerot he takes for Yom Tov, which is water heated today, and the other gezerah from the water before Yom Tov, he says that's already too much of a stretch. If you remember last week, we said it was a buildup. First they decreed water from today, then they decreed water from yesterday. Seems like the first decree, they took the Yom Tov. Water heated today? No. But the water heated from before Yom Tov? Okay, you can take a full body shower with this water. Shiloh, allowed, even on Shabbat. Shiloh gazu al dabar zeh ela b'Shabbat bilbad. That decree is already only for Shabbat. So if you can find your house, you have water from before Yom Tov that's hot, you can use that on Yom Tov for a full body bath, says Rambam.
If the tank will be refilled and
That's always the question.
Or
Okay,
what
we have to
happens
get
if it was so, okay, you have a water heater with a tank, right?
Yeah.
So it fills up, it's heated from before the holiday.
Right, the water you're using is heated from before.
Well, but then it cools off and then heats back up, so.
They just take the
Yeah,
first.
but you're not doing anything for it.
That's
The first person to start.
that's always the question. We're going to address this a little bit, Ezra, in a couple of minutes.
Nine hands, 9 toes. You can't do any pinkies. Pinkies are brave.
We will address this momentarily. 5:11. Too far. Let's read Shulchan Aruch.
Let's say it's the next afternoon, and you don't know if
Rough crowd in this class.
you don't know if it cooled down.
Every week. Okay, so hold on. Hold on to that question for a second. Okay, let's see what Maran Shulchan Aruch. We read the Rambam. You think Yossi? You think Maran says what Rambam says?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, depends what's going
Maran Shulchan Aruch.
on.
He says, "Are you blocked, Mrs. Dweck?"
No, he's watching.
Okay, ready? Says Maran Shulchan Aruch. Mutar la'asot medura leithamem kenegda. You're allowed to make a bonfire to warm up your body. Exactly what the Mishnah says. Maran Shulchan, that's halakha l'maaseh. It's allowed. And the Rama says, the Rama adds, and he says, "V'yesh omrim de'asur la'hem bet ha'choref b'yom tov." The Rama adds on, he says, you know, some people say don't heat up a cold house on Yom Tov, because if I'm sorry, Mechila, how Ashkenaz does this sound right now? The Rama, yesh omrim de'asur la'hem bet ha'choref. The Mishnah says straight out, you can make a hot fire to be warm. He says, some people say you can't do it in the winter. Why? The Amim in hakor gadol. It's not. Maybe it's not cold enough. It's not cold enough to justify your.
They come to heat it.
No. It's not cold enough. You don't really need it. You could survive in the sub-zero. What's the place they used to set people in Siberia? Maybe you're just being a spoiled brat. Yeah, this is Rama writes. So maybe you're just being too spoiled. And so, Nagulakil, however, he says the custom is to allow it. So if it's freezing cold, yeah, so they're real men. So this is halakha l'maaseh. By the way, interesting halakha l'maaseh. If you have a blackout, the heater is off on Yom Tov and it's freezing, and you want to take candle to candle and light up the oven just to get warm, it will be allowed. Next, Maran Shulchan Aruch. What are we looking at? Ready? This is the Maran Shulchan Aruch. Mutar le'achem b'yom tov ma'im. You're allowed to warm up water on Yom Tov. Lerchos yadav. He goes back to what the Mishnah said. To wash your hands. Aba lo kol gufo. Not your whole body. The Mishnah says, he's taking the words of the Mishnah. No, Mishnah says raglav. He's choosing yadav. Let's see. You can't wash your whole body in hot water, even if it's part by part, says Maran Shulchan Aruch, if the water is warmed up today on Yom Tov. Abal, if you warm up the water from before Yom Tov, you can take a full body shower, just like Rambam says, Maran Shulchan Aruch, if the water is hot from beforehand, you can use it for a full body shower on Yom Tov. Mihu, however, dafka chutz lamirchatz. We're not talking about a public area here, because that decree would still apply. Only in a private house. Ababa mirchatz, asud. In a private place, it's in a public place. It's going to be asud. Says the Rama. What do you think the Rama says? V'yesh osrim bechol inyan v'chen nohagim. That's what he says. Some people say everything's asud, and that's the custom. Close the book. That's the Rama. This is the Rama. So God bless him. I mean, he's a great rabbi. Mikvah we spoke about last week. We'll do it again. Hold on one second.
You know what a rabbi told me? He said because today shower.
We are spoiled these days. Yeah.
No, because it becomes part of the net.
Yeah.
That inclusion. So for holidays,
There's a whole conversation about holiday. Let me get through this. I'm going to read now from a sefer called Halichot Olam, which is written by a Chacham Vadia on the Ben Ish Chai. It says the Chacham Vadia. But I didn't look up the Ben Ish Chai because I fell asleep actually before. I was very tired. So I'm being honest.
So what is considered again taking a hot shower?
What is considered
What's considered a hot shower? Not just the level. What is it?
Even warm water is called hot.
Warm water.
We said last week. Yeah, spit. Says Hacham Ovadia himself, not his son. Mutar lirchotz panav yadav v'raglav. Back to what the way Rambam wrote. You can wash your hands, your feet, and your face, or kelim, or even dishes. It's a good one. If your wife wants to wash dishes in hot water on Yom Tov, you're allowed to use hot water for washing dishes. Not your knees. If the water was in the dud shemesh, it's going to be okay. That's heat from the sun in Israel. Now I'm going to skip a couple of lines. He says, I don't want to read the whole thing. Even if you're going to do it, it's okay. He says you're allowed to. You read it after. I'm going to skip here. Here's the whole reason why it's allowed. Now, here. Asur lirhotz kol gufo b'Shabbat b'mayim hamim. On Shabbat, you're not allowed to wash your whole body with hot water. Afilu b'mayim poshrim. Even warm water, like we said, even warm is out. You can't do that on Shabbat. Ve'asur l'ishtatef b'sonen v'la'amod l't'hamim k'neged ha'medura, like we said last week. You can't get nice and cold with cold water and then stand right in front of the fire, because the water will heat the fire. You can use hot water from before Shabbat to wash your hands, feet, and so again, just remember, guys, Shabbat, if you have water from beforehand that's hot, you can use that on Shabbat for your hands, your feet, and your face. On Yom Tov, we take it up a notch. You can even warm up the water today to wash your hands, your feet, and your face. On Shabbat, if you have water that was hot from yesterday, you can't use it for a full shower. On Yom Tov, if you have water that was hot from yesterday, you can use it for a full shower. Everybody good in this? So Yom Tov is just a notch easier than... Hold on, just give me a second. We're not going to answer it. I'll tell you right now, you're not going to be happy with the answer.
Even if it doesn't refill, when the temperature drops...
This will completely tank us.
The burner comes back.
It goes automatically, but...
I know.
Guys, this is going to take us.
Yeah.
Let me read you another one. I hear what you're saying, but we got to move. And I'm gonna address this heater in a second. I'll address this question at the end, but I'm telling you right now, you're not going to be happy. It's not going to be enough. You know, I wanted to wrap it up tonight, but let me see.
I won't be here.
Well, no, we're going to do it. Let's call the questions. Okay, ready? I'm reading from Hazon Ovadia. This is written by himself, the rabbi, Hazon Ovadia. He says, on Yom Tov, Hana'ah ha'shaveh lechol nefesh, pleasure that's equally for everyone for every day, which we said is washing hands and feet and face. Muteret b'Yom Tov, it's allowed, ke'ochel nefesh asmo, just like eating food. V'lachen mutar la'asot medura l't'chayim k'neda. You can make a furnace to warm up bizman hakol in the winter. Also smoking, right? Smoking on Yom Tov. Why is it allowed? Hana'ah ha'shaveh lechol nefesh, the same reason. Why is smoking allowed and showering is not allowed? Whenever it says you can eat, by the way, how do we know this dirasha? The way you pronounce the word. It doesn't say yochal, you should eat. It says ach, ashed ye'achel, that which is eaten. It decreases the word and it includes more stuff. It has the yod has a sedi on it. That's it. Means anything with benefit. Okay. Because of this, on Yom Tov, you can warm up water for your hands and your feet and your face. It's all called Hana'ah shel nefesh. About asur. Says Maran Shulach, to take a full body shower with hot water that you heated up today on Yom Tov. No, you don't need a shower today. If the water was hot from before Yom Tov, exactly like Rambam and Shulchan Aruch, you can take a full shower. Water that was heated in the dud shemesh up on the roof, which is by the sun, you can take a full body shower on Yom Tov with dud shemesh water. We're only talking about, no, that's with regular water. We're all talking about that's what we're talking about, a private bath.
Is there like an inclusive thing? Because it just seems to go this.
This is they all agree. This is the bottom line.
Wow.
Yeah. Now here's another one.
Wait, so with the Duke money, the congregation says you can't shower.
Do shemesh. Yeah.
Sober.
Yeah.
So you
You
can.
could. He says you could. Now, listen,
On Shabbat and,
on Yom Tov only.
Yom Tov only.
Shabbat, you can never take a full body.
Unless it's cold water.
Okay, Yossi, ready for the wrinkle? Here's the wrinkle. Says Acham Ovadia. Mutad lirhos. Pay attention to this, guys. Bezad, you ready for this? Mutad, are you allowed to take a full hot shower on Yom Tov with water that was heated on Yom Tov?
No.
Says Acham Ovadia. Mutad lirhos kol gufo. You're allowed to take a full body shower. B'Yom Tov sheni shel galiyot.
Wow.
On the second day of Yom Tov outside of Israel. Has a different halacha as the first day. B'mayim hamim, with hot water, shehmu b'Yom Tov rishon, that was heated yesterday on Yom Tov, al yedei boiler hashmani, by an electric boiler. Be'ambatya pirati shebebeto, in your private bathroom in your house. No shot. No shot. Says Acham Ovadia, yes, I hold like Rambam and like Baal Shulchan Aruch, that you cannot use the water that was heated up today for a full body shower. You can use the water that was heated up yesterday before Yom Tov. What about the water that was heated up yesterday on Yom Tov for Yom Tov Sheni? Says Acham Ovadia, that I will allow. Even if it's, he says, even an electric boiler to take a shower on the second day of Yom Tov. Why? Because it's a safek. It's no matter what. The whole day is a safek. You can You can do that too if you want. That's the Ashkenaz way. If you, they go 3 weeks with their shower. You know?
Coming up.
The Gemara Betzah, listen, the Gemara Betzah says, if there's an egg that was laid, let's try not trying to make this a whole sidetrack. Let's just listen to the example. If there was an egg that was laid on Yom Tov, are you allowed to eat the egg?
No.
You have chickens in the back.
Second day, probably.
Yeah, you're allowed. And you're not racist here. That's the Gemara Betzah. So the answer is, if you have a Betzah, it's the beginning of Betzah. That's the first Mishnah. If you have an egg that was laid on Shabbat or Yom Tov, it's mukseh. You can't touch it. You can't eat it. However, says the Gemara, on the second day of Yom Tov, you're allowed to eat it. Why? Because if we don't know,
Where does it come second day?
Rosh Hashanah. That's a whole. There's 4 reasons.
Yeah.
Rosh Hashanah for Betzah. No. Acham Ovadia here shower is only for us here in America. But the Gemara says the Betzah thing about Rosh Hashanah. It's a whole thing. Yeah, but that's only for the egg. So he's taking the same halacha. If the egg was, when was the egg? What's the word? When the fetus finished. When the fetus was complete. When was it? We don't know. If it was yesterday, well, what was yesterday? Either today's holiday or yesterday was holiday. It's Yom Tov Sheni, right? If yesterday was a holiday, then fine. Today's not a holiday, so I'm eating the egg on a regular weekday. If today's really the holiday, then the egg was conceived before the holiday. So either way, you win. And so he's saying the same in the notes here. He says the same thing. When you have Yom Tov Sheni in Galuyot? When was the holiday? We don't know. Okay, the water was heated up yesterday on Yom Tov. If it was really Yom Tov yesterday, today is not Yom Tov. So I'm using water. Right? You're not allowed to use water that was heated on Yom Tov for Motzei Yom Tov. If today is really the holiday, good. The water was heated up and before the Yom Tov.
It seems like you use that logic for a lot of things.
It's always something. The second you could. Then why do we have the second day b'chlav? So then even better. Second day is definitely not the day.
That's another point.
Even better. He's not saying do it on the first day, only the second day. Yeah.
Why do people hold that if you're in a hotel, you're not causing the actual water?
Because the water tank is so huge. And you're not doing anything to it.
Anybody.
And it's not for you also.
Shabbat too.
So the question is, hold on, guys, 1 second. It could be. Hold on. I want to wrap up. I just want to wrap it up halakha. So everyone knows the halakha. Yossi, what you're saying is a good point. If it's a mainly non-Jewish situation, and it's non-Jews heating up for themselves, there's a lot to say there because they're not doing it for you. We have to do, well, Belina did another time.
We have a bigger problem. Because
But
carrying, don't own the property of the hotel.
Don't have my shower.
no, showering. But hold on, I want to just wrap up halakha l'maaseh, guys. What did we learn? Pools, swimming on Shabbat. Again, I want to have it make sure everyone knows the halakha l'maaseh. Swimming on Shabbat.
Okay, if you're not enjoying.
If the water was heated today, there's no chance you can swim in the pool on Shabbat. The heater's on in the pool right now. You cannot swim in the pool on Shabbat. If the heater was on yesterday before Shabbat, and it's still hot from that, you cannot swim in the pool on Shabbat. If there was no heater on in the pool on Shabbat, and it was only heated by the sun, and it's in your private house, and you make sure not to squeeze, from the letter of the law, it's allowed to swim in Shabbat. Chacham Ovadia said not to. You want to follow what he says, that's up to you. But from the letter of the law, you're not breaking Shabbat. In a hotel, you have the added problem of, is it carrying for everyone, number one. Number two, hotels, pools, all have heaters. So I don't see how it's ever possible to go into a hotel pool on Shabbat. So if you go, a hotel heater,
And there's
Always
certainly not
on.
heating.
hotel pool, always on.
And there's certainly not heating.
Outside of Israel.
What?
There's no heating on the heat.
Doesn't matter. Even any water that was heated on Shabbat or before Shabbat is not by man is not allowed as a gezerah. I don't see any way. So, and we'll talk about Yom Tov. But if it's Yom Tov and Shabbat, you go to Palm Springs for Yom Tov and it falls out on Shabbat. I don't know how you go in the pool that day. I don't see how you can go in the pool of a hotel on Shabbat. Huh? But ocean, no.
But on Yom Tov,
You're gonna build a ref.
in a
Right, the
hotel,
ocean's the ref. Huh?
hotel,
Hold on, let's do Yom Tov.
wait,
Yeah,
hotel Yom Tov.
let's do it. Okay, hotel, guys.
Wait.
Hotel, you call the hotel and ask them, do you have a heater on? I'm in the hotel business. They all have the heater on.
They have it on.
If that's the case,
They have it on.
hold on. Yuval, do you have one more minute?
They have it on.
One more minute. I want you to hear this. Listen,
The degrees they put it at.
guys, if it's Yom Tov, guys, give me 3 minutes of your time. If it's Yom Tov, you're allowed to use water that was heated before Yom Tov for a full body on Yom Tov. If it's, you see, this is going to get a little tricky. If the water was heated on Yom Tov, you can't take a full body bath on Yom Tov with water that was heated on Yom Tov. But if it was only the second day, but on the first day, it would have to be water that was heated from before Yom Tov. I don't know how you get around this. I'm not trying to, I'm just asking.
You're saying
I don't know how you get around this.
the second day starts at night. That night you could take a shower, not a problem.
Yes. But on the first day of Yom Tov, we just said that if the water was heated that day, you could only use it for your hands, your feet, and your face. I don't know how you go full body swimming on Yom Tov. I don't know. Answer, I don't know. I want to read you one more thing.
What happens if somebody gets dirty? They
And
fall
this-
in the mud. They hold.
We have to think about it. Let's think about it. I don't know.
What happens if they fall in the mud?
Hold on. I want to read you one more thing. Now this, you guys,
That's about it.
guys, I have to do this because it's my job.
Yes, sir.
Like a doctor sometimes has to give a shot. Listen, Rabotai, you're going to hate this. I'm sorry, but I have to read it. It's in the book.
Yalla.
Says Hacham Yitzhak. Ezra, you ready?
Following if I'm stuck. That's only.
Ve'onam. However, all of this talk about the swimming pool, dafka beberecha sheba hasahi nefredet lehalutin. We're only talking about, of course, when it's separate swimming, men and ladies. Upashutu, it's obvious. For sure, guys, don't kill the messenger. For sure, yesh isur hamud berochsa me'obedet kevarim v'nashim. It's absolutely forbidden to swim with men and women together. Ve'af v'fachot mizeh, Amru Hazal says in the Gemara, kol ha'ober acharei.
This is any time.
Ever. It says in Gemara.
Ever.
Ever. Kol ha'over. No questions are being taken for this. Kol ha'over ha'oreh isha benahar. It says in the Gemara. If someone swims behind the woman in the river, en lo helek le'olam haba.
Wow.
Upilush Rashi. Hold on, guys. Let me finish the book. Upilush Rashi. Guys. Upilush Rashi. Rashi says Rashi. Why? She picks up her huge long rope. Obviously, she's wearing like Muslim robes in the pool, but she's picking it up, obviously. But she picks it up, and you can see a little bit of her flesh. The Abed says, doesn't matter, married or single. You're going to stir up the Yetzer Hara. He's going to be burning in you. You won't be embarrassed anymore. And it says basically, so we have a lot to think about. Honestly, I'm not here to tell you, asur.
The only river though.
No. We have to think.
You're allowed to go to the pool with you. No?
It depends if there's flesh.
So you have to tell them that.
So
if it's their family or whatever.
So, guys, my father-in-law is making sure to say everyone should know if it's your family members, it's allowed. In case you thought it were.
My cousin, they're all family.
However, if you come from countries like we do, where you marry your cousins and your nieces, I ain't sure about that. We have to come back to me. If we think of how we can allow it, we'll do it. Baruch Amen. Rabbi Hanan Gashaomer Asa Kadosh Baruch Hu Zechot Et Yisrael Lefichach Ba Lahem Torah Mitzvot Shneimar Adonai Hafez Leman Sikui Aldi Torah V'Yadid. How do I get rid of this?